Hello, everyone. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. Now we will be jumping into the first lecture of this week. Before going forward, I would like to give you guys around 5 minutes to ask questions, if you have any questions at all. If no one does not choose to ask questions, then we'll just begin. So, Paul asks, how does supply and demand fit into the BTC price action nowadays at all-time highs? Whenever you have a asset, right, at all-time highs, that will be the time that, will give you the least high probability setups, right? That's due to the fact that at all-time highs, if price pierces the high, there is no imbalance, right? So you will be using strictly time. Same thing goes for ES, the same thing goes for NQ, the same thing goes for even if, the US dollar ends up at all-time high sometimes, right? The same thing will go for all assets. The thing that you will use will be the thing that we'll be talking about today, right? Which is precision swing points and precision candles. And the questions that you guys have that surround precision swing points and precision candles, we'll be answering them today, right? So with that being said, I'll just jump straight into what we have to do today. Looking at the economic calendar, you can see that we had no news Monday. Tuesday we had news, Wednesday we had news, but tomorrow we have nothing. So tomorrow is a bank holiday, right? Which means that that day will be used to sort liquidity. It will more than likely be a slow day to more than likely consolidate. Whenever you have, times when, and it doesn't matter if you have the bank holiday on Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or even Friday. Once there's a bank holiday in the week, price will not be as clean as a week that has no bank holidays. So yes, this is the price action that we have been foreseeing for weeks, well, months, really, right? You can see that. Very obvious. We cleared these highs that we've been talking about. We cleared these lows that we've been talking about. And the British pound lagged as we expected, right? So there isn't much to talk about here, as we already cut price to deliver to the level that we expected it to deliver to. The thing that we will be waiting on now is sequential SMT or a precision swing point, or both of them in any order, all right? That's important to understand. It's not just, we just need sequential SMT, and then after the sequential SMT, we need a precision swing point. Or after the SMT, we need a precision swing point. You can have a precision swing point, and then you have sequential SMT form on a lower time frame within that candle. And now we go into the thing that we're here for today, right? So this is not what I would call a model, or, this is how I perceive price, right? This is how I anticipate the markets to move. This is how I expect reversals to happen. Not solely, but, mostly based off of this concept here. So here you can see that we had SMT, price failed to break below this low, and for the NASDAQ, price failed to break below this low. For the Dow, we did have price break below this low, right? So this was sequential, right? Doubling theory, considering the month, October, November, sequential SMT between those months, followed by a precision swing point, which was the icing on the cake. Every time you see the low of sessions, you'll see the low of hours, minutes, seconds, it will more than likely, most times, be a precision swing point. You'll see the high of the week, the low of the month, the high of the year, the high of the session, the low of the session, whatever it may be. It will usually be a precision swing point. Right? And I say this a lot because it's something that you must understand. Right? No one else will be out there looking for this. Right? Just you, because you're the only one that knows about it or even knows that it works. If you go around and you talk about this, they won't believe it because they haven't seen it in action before. But you have. You've seen me talk about what to expect using these concepts. The last week, the week before, and price panned out. So here we had a precision swing point, sequential SMT, price expanded, we expected this. And here we had another precision swing point, we expected price to fall within the range, right? And this is to show you that we use every single one of these precision swing points to anticipate a reversal. We used the one here. We used this one here as well. We talked about them, this one, then this one. And then last week we talked about this one. What did we expect? Price to fall below the 50% of this precision swing point and then expand. What happened? That's what happened. So here you can see that this is not a fair value gap. This is a liquidity void. And it's very difficult to pinpoint the area within a liquidity void where price will reverse. But due to the fact that we know about precision swing points, right? Whenever you have a liquidity void, right, follow sequential SMT, which was confirmed by precision swing point. Whenever you see a precision swing point fall within, right, wherever it forms, you can anticipate price to expand, right? As long as this formed, right, this becomes a base for your setup. This becomes a base for your trade. This becomes a base for your anticipation, right? So here price fell below the 50%. Here price fell below the 50%, and the same thing occurred here. You can see this 3-point move, right? And this is very, effective. It's highly, worth your time. You should, be anticipating this 3-point move where you have a precision swing point here, one at the high, price falls within the range and then forms a precision swing point, and it expands. Right, so this is the base of everything that we're doing, right? But the fact that we have this candle here, we're in a precision swing point, this one too, and price falls within the liquidity void, you don't need a fair value gap. You don't need anything, to be honest. It doesn't matter what's here. The only reason why this held price, or you can even consider that, oh, this was rebalanced, but due to the fact that this candle formed here. Also, the reason, right, and remember that we talked about this precision swing point as well, and you can see that this is the one that is irregular, right? And whenever you have an irregular precision swing point, that one will tend to expand the most, right? So that will give you the best move, the cleanest move. right? Just as here, this one is irregular, and it expanded the most, right? And again, you can see that this one is irregular, and it gave you the best move. Here you guys can see that we have splitted the precision swing points that we were referring to just now, a few seconds ago, in half. Right, so I just did this for the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, didn't do it for the Dow, right? Because these are the assets that we focus on the most. Even when the Dow delivers the best price action, we still focus on these. Due to the fact that the Dow tends to have a mind of its own most times. So yes, here you can see that price fell below the 50% of this precision swing point right here. And once it falls within the red zone, right, which would be the discount area within the precision swing point, then we will find something to do. But it's not that it just should fall within it. We should have something, to confirm price with, such as either a lower time frame precision swing point or sequential SMT, which we did have formed. So right here, while price is falling, it gets to the red zone, right, where your buys would be active. It expanded, but it was not ready to go higher as yet, right? So even if you bought here and put your stop here, you'd be taken out. You want to wait for this, a lower time frame cracking correlation. Whereas you see here, price fell below this low. Here, it failed to do so, while staying above the 50%. So you can see that the sequential SMT occurred here, below the 50%, but here, above the 50%. Which is why we see price expanding higher here, as opposed to here. So yes, this is what it looks like on the lower time frame. So you guys can see, if we zoom out, you can see that we got quite a move, right? So this is the daily cycle, Q3, the best quarter. Price fell below London, then expanded during the New York session, right? So this is the reason why the low of the high today is usually formed, right? Sequential SMT between the sessions. So here we had the low of the day for the NASDAQ being formed during the New York session. Here it was formed during the London session. The main thing to take away from this is that precision swing points, right, dictates sequential SMT. And the other way around. There is not one that is greater than the other. They both are respected by me the same, right? I treat them the same, but there are two components that you can use to navigate the marketplace. There's nothing else, truly there's nothing else that will make it easier for you, right? Because that's the reason of all of this, right? To just make reading price as easy as possible, right? How can I find the low of the day? How can I find the low of the session, the low of the month, the low of the week? It's by using these concepts and putting them together. You already understand what a gap is. You already understand what a quote-unquote order back is, a breaker. You understand all of those things, right? I don't have to tell you that you should be looking for this to form below the true open of the day, because you should already know that, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Right? This is basic, right? This was taught in the YouTube video, right? So yes, Of course, this occurred below the true open, right? Of course it did. You buy below true opens, you sell above true opens. But it's not as simple as that, is it? Right? You buy below true open, right? Whenever you have sequential SMT and a precision swing point coming after the sequential SMT, or sequential SMT occurring within a precision swing point. So say the range from here to here is a precision swing point. This is the 50%. You have the true open, price falls below. On the lower time frame, you have sequential SMT, and then you should be looking to be a participant in the market. So this one was jam-packed with a lot of goodies. I hope that you guys found this very useful. Right, tomorrow will be a day off, of course, because why? Tomorrow is a day when the US banks will not be operating. Right? Of course, you will still find readable moves due to the fact that sequential SMT will be there. Of course, it will be there. SMT will be there. You'll see precision swing points. You'll see precision candles. Right? But just because it's there doesn't mean that you have to be there. Hope that you found this useful. We will talk again Friday. It's usually between 5 and 6 p.m. because there are times when I will just feel the need to go live right now. I just can't wait to share the information. But yes, usually between 5 and 6 p.m. And also, if you are someone that messaged me or my assistant in regards to your account being updated so you get, free access for life, don't worry about it. We see your messages, just that it's a lot of you. So just don't worry, we will get to you. Right? Definitely we will get to you. And even if there's a mistake and one of you guys are charged, you will be refunded. Don't worry about that. I believe I refunded like 2 people already. Right? You don't have to worry about that. You won't be kicked out. Right? No one will turn their back on you. Don't worry about that. So yes. Hope you found this useful.